I always felt like big life decisions should have a lead up, should have time to plan, should have kind of this runway space where you're planning your next step. In my life, I've definitely had those situations where I've made like big life choices that make big life changes. But this time, if you've seen my last video, I was laid off kind of. And I'm in the process of going through a big life change because, well, just watch the other video. So today I thought I would talk about how there's never really a good time to make a change, whether it's planned or it is forced on you. And while I do that, I figured I'd go through my closet because while I'm in this transition, I'm really feeling the need to declutter and reduce the number of things that I own. I did a closet clear out not that long ago, so I shouldn't have too much to get rid of, but yeah, I'm just feeling the need to declutter. I've done a couple of small spaces already, and this is one of the bigger ones that I want to re-tackle. Are you here to help? Are you here to help? So like I said, I've done a closet clear out not that long ago, so this might be a little underwhelming, but it's not really about the things that I'm getting rid of. It's more about the way that it makes me feel. So I think I'm going to start with the hangers and talk as I go. I think it's important to start with the fact that change is always hard. We as humans are creatures of habit, and it's amazing how much we can get used to in our lives. Like if you are miserable, it is so easy to get used to being miserable. Like you're comfortable in your misery. And it sounds ridiculous because who wants to be miserable? But I've seen so many people who are unhappy in their circumstances, that are unhappy in their jobs, who just stay there because it's safe and they're comfortable and they're used to it. So change is always hard, whether it's for the good or for the bad, right? Losing a job on the surface is a bad thing. But at the same time, I mentioned in my last video, I've been planning a sabbatical for quite a long time. And I wasn't at the stage where I was ready to take it yet, but it also tells me that I wasn't totally satisfied with what I was doing there. So I'm trying to take this change as much of a surprise as it was. I'm trying to take it in a way where I am making a change for myself. Because it's been thrust upon me, I might as well take advantage of the time that I have. You know, I think having a job and having a routine, just being busy in general, really makes it hard to make change because you're too busy to think about the other things that you want. And maybe... Alright, actually, I thought this would be underwhelming, but I've already gotten 3 things in the maybe pile, so maybe I have more things to get rid of than I thought. And here's the thing about making change when you are laid off is, I love this. You no longer have stable income, whether that is your full income or just like one of your income streams. For me, it was my full income. So I'm feeling this really hard. You have no more stability financially. Like I was paid monthly, so I was very much used to getting a paycheck every single month, it being very reliable, knowing what to expect, how to budget. But that's no longer the case. So it makes things feel very uncertain. And you know, I'm grateful to be in the position that I'm in now where I have a little bit of flexibility. I have some time to figure out what I want, but I know that when people are laid off, not everyone has that flexibility. And there are a lot of financial restraints for people who've lost their jobs. So the limitation is within the system that you've set for yourself. And I'm going to try and take advantage of mine and make the most of it. Well, actually, I've got a lot of maybes to try on. But I am very worried with the financial situation that I'm in. You know what, now that I don't have to dress for work, I'm really questioning a lot of my wardrobe, which feels like a good thing because, like I said, I did want to declutter. And if I do end up going back to work, I can go shopping. I will have enough as it is. Well, okay. This is going in a very different direction than I thought it would. If you can hear some noises, that is the joys of apartment living. I think my neighbors upstairs are having a drum circle or something like that. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it's been all afternoon. All right, this one, very cute, that I would wear in my personal life as well, but I need to see if I can fix this one. So starting a new pile for try to fix. I have a lot of things that I guess are kind of worn out. But yeah, back to change. The thing that I'm struggling with most about this change that I'm making now is that I don't know the direction of the change that I want to make. Let's move on to the folded stuff. I mean, I've always known that I wanted to work for myself. I have worked in jobs my whole life, and I've always, not always, but consistently I've had this kind of niggle in the back of my brain where I'm tired of working for other people. I'm tired of helping other people make their money, start their businesses and run their businesses. And so I've had a lot of attempts to make money online, to start my own thing, but I've always been in a position where I don't have a lot of money to put into it, so I'm just trying to make money out of nothing. And now I don't know how much I'm in that position and how much I'm willing to spend because, again, my financial situation is a bit unclear. But now that I have loads of time to myself and loads of time to think about what I want, I am going back to that idea of I'd love to start something for myself, own something for myself, and work for myself and help myself make money. It sounds very selfish, but it is the direction I want to go. And ideally, it would be something that is transferable, meaning something online, something that I can do remote, that because I'm American, because I live in Dubai, because my partner is also not from these states, I don't know where we're going to end up. And I'd like to have options, and I'd like to make sure that no matter where I end up, I have some sort of income. So these have been the things that I have been kind of going through in my brain to figure out what it is that I wanted to start doing for myself. Yeah, t-shirts are all good. These are sweaters, which obviously I don't wear very much when I'm in Dubai. But as I was literally just saying, I don't know where I'm going to end up, so I will probably hold on to most of these. This one's quite old. I'll try it on. So going back to making money for myself and starting something online, I have tried several avenues before, and none of them have really stuck. So I'm really in the process of trying to figure out what will work for me. What do I like doing? What am I interested in doing? So right now I am trying to teach myself a bunch of different skills. Some have been successful, some have not. And primarily I'm just trying to bring in some sort of income. So I've been off it's been about 2 weeks now. And I haven't brought in any money, which 2 weeks is not that long. And like I've mentioned 100 times now, is I have a bit of runway. I have a bit of time before I'm stressed about, my finances. But I need to make sure that it's realistic. I need to make sure that it's possible before I start to plan for that direction of change. I can go back. This section looks quite empty, but I do have to do laundry, but I'm also assuming that everything that is dirty in the laundry are things that I wear and things that I will continue to wear. So there is normally more stuff here. Next I've got shorts and skirts. So if you can't tell by the kind of direction that I've been going through in this whole chat, is I'm really trying to make peace with the fact that it is a time of change and this is the best time to be doing it. I think it would be quite easy to just start looking in the same arena and looking for a new job in the same industry. But I think if I were to do that, I would end up in the same trap of feeling trapped and feeling unfulfilled with my work. So yeah, I'm trying to convince myself that it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to be feeling directionless while I figure it out. But at the same time, like, I've had quite a few days that I don't want to get off the couch. And I know I feel better when I do. I know it's better for my mental health, my physical health, but because I don't know what I want, I spend far too long sitting on the couch. So because change is always hard, there's never a good time, there's never going to be a moment in your life where you feel like now is the time to make a change, because there's always going to be some sort of excuse. Now for me is not a good time for change because I don't have a job and I just need to find a job and I just need to find income. It's not a good time to make change when you're busy because you're too busy to figure out what you want. Or it's not a good time because you have to focus on your kids. Those are all valid excuses. Those are all real reasons to not make a change. But I really just come to this conclusion of I've only got one life. I've only got so much time on this earth that I want to make sure that what I'm doing makes me happy and is fulfilling, and it doesn't even need to make a difference. It just needs to allow me the freedom to do the things that I want to do. If I can find work that also makes me happy, great, but it is always going to be work, right? These are kind of my catch-all. They're supposed to be socks and underwear and stuff, but I keep finding me throwing my in-between clothes. Tell me if you guys also have in-between clothes that are not clean, are not dirty, you've worn them, but they're not ready to be washed. Where do you put them? What do you do with them? Because mine just end up in these baskets where they don't belong. So yeah, I guess that's one of the realizations that I've come to, is that as much as this is not a great time for me to have lost my job and to make this massive change, there's never going to be a good time. And you know what? I'm being forced into it, but maybe that's what I needed, because if I was still employed, then there would still never be a good time. And I guess I'm just trying to embrace that shift in mindset of trying to be comfortable in being uncomfortable, trying to accept the fact that directionlessness is normal, and that this is the best time to be working on personal goals. But I guess that's kind of the point. I'm not going to go through all of these. I think most of this is pretty okay. It's just these things that need to find a home. Well, that's a lot of socks. Let's go through these. You know what? I'm gonna keep most of the socks. All right, last little section I have here is mostly dresses. There's not much in here. Yeah, all of the rest of that I'm going to keep. Okay, actually that was a lot more successful than I thought it would be. I ended up getting rid of 8 items, and then I have 2 items that I need to see if I can fix. So actually a lot more than I thought would happen, considering I literally just did this a couple of weeks ago. But it's amazing what happens when you look at the same space with a different perspective, which I guess is the lesson in all of this. As your perspective changes, so do your needs and your wants. Okay, that's it for today's video. Thank you for joining me for today's closet clean out and my thoughts on making a big change. Let me know down in the comments if any of you guys are in the process of making a big change. Was it by decision, was it by planning, or was it something that was forced upon you? Hope everyone is safe and well out there, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. You've been so helpful. Thank you so much. Say bye.